heads this way, and then we'll continue with the action. King, be very careful. It's very slick over here.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me it's very slick. And it's going to get a little slicker around here because you see there's a couple of jerks running around here today who think they're real slick. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I got more to say about them a little later, but right now I want to talk about probably what is behind all of this. I don't know how many of you people out here or how many people watching are familiar with where this Doink the Clown came from. Yeah, we know, right? He's from the WWF, the World Wrestling Federation. And he's been wreaking havoc up there for the past few weeks. And now I guess Brian Christopher gets a hold of him and asks him to come down here. Well, let me tell you something. I've just about had it up to here with the World Wrestling Federation. And there's a lot of people that's getting sick of them, too. You see, I have for years been telling everybody that right here in the USWA, we had as good or better than any other wrestlers anywhere in the world. Any organization, WCW, WWF, bar none. We're just as good, we're just as tough, we're just as mean as any of them right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Is that right? Well, I went up to the WWF to prove it, and I'll tell you something. The minute I walked in the doors up there, a lot of people said, no, you'll never see the king in the WWF. Well, I've been there. I want to tell you, I've been there, and from the minute I walked in the door, not one person considered me a friend. Not one person considered me a good guy. You want to know why? It's not just because I'm from the USWA. I'm going to get right down to the bare facts of the matter. It's because I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. It's because I'm from the South. And you just find when you go to New York City, when you go anywhere up north, those people walk around with their noses in the air, and they think anybody from south of the Mason-Dixon line are the Beverly Hillbillies. They look at me and they say, hey, you been wearing shoes very long, King? They look at me and say, what'd you come in on? You ride your mule all the way up here to New York City? Well, let me tell you something. I'm proud to be from Tennessee, and I wouldn't live in New York City if they gave me a penthouse in Trump Plaza. I can tell you that right now. And I'll tell you somebody else that's pretty sick and tired of all of those jerks up there in the WWF. And that's another guy that has been wrestling up there, but he's got his roots from right here in Memphis, Tennessee. And his name, as we know him, is Downtown Bruno. And I want to bring him out here for a minute because he's got a little problem he's going to straighten out this week with the WWF. Come on out here, BrunoMania.
There he is.
And you're going to see why I say BrunoMania in just a minute. Because there is a guy in the World Wrestling Federation that Downtown Bruno has had some problems with over the past few weeks. Bruno, I'm going to tell everybody about your problems that you had up there in the World Wrestling Federation with the Fink.
The Fink.
The Fink, that's right. There is a little scrawny, sawed-off ring announcer in the World Wrestling Federation by the name of Howard Finkel. Anybody ever heard of Howard Finkel? He's a little bald-headed ring announcer, thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. The truth of the matter is, he's the biggest nothing since the invention of the zero. Is that right, Bruno?
Exactly.
And let me tell you something. He goes around and calls himself a ring announcer, and he introduces all the wrestlers. But the truth of the matter is, I found out since I've been in the World Wrestling Federation that Howard Finkel is one of the head honchos up there in the WWF, isn't he? Exactly. He's one of the big wheels, and even though he's a little short, scrawny, sawed-off runt, he likes to throw his weight around and try to boss all the wrestlers around. When you want to know where you're going to wrestle next week, you got to call Howard Finkel. And what does he love to do? He's going to put you on hold because he's going to try to make you think he's a big, important big shot. Well, Downtown Bruno, you had a little run-in with Howard Finkel, and you showed him what was what, didn't you?
Exactly. I showed him one thing. I'm from the Memphis area. I live in Wiles, Mississippi.
That's
I'm
right,
very
baby.
proud of it. And some goofy Yankee like Howard Finkel going to try to make me look bad and feel bad up there? Well, I got news for him. He's not going to make me look bad in my hometown, not in Memphis, Tennessee.
Because that's where BrunoMania runs wild, isn't it?
BrunoMania's running wild in Memphis, Tennessee. And I want Howard Finkel to come on down and get in the ring with me.
We got a piece of tape to show you a little run-in. Everybody look at Howard Finkel here.
Look at this goof.
Ladies and gentlemen, my guests at this time are Dr. Harvey Wippleman, Kimchi, and the Ugandan giant, Kamala.
Let me tell you something, little man. I don't need some retarded-looking geek like you to conduct an interview with me. I want you to understand something, and I want you to listen real good. Time after time, I have told you that the doctor does not deal with geeks. But time and time again, you stand here with that smirk on your face and those big ears and that receding hairline that's almost non-existent. And you look at me in the eye as if you're my equal. Well, you're not my equal. You don't come anywhere near Dr. Harvey Wippleman. As a matter of fact, I wish you would take your bald head and just get on out of here and let me conduct this interview myself, because you ain't worth it. What do you...
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce myself. Some of you may know me, and some of you may not. My name is Howard Finkel. I'm also known as the Fink, and I am the premier ring announcer in the World Wrestling Federation, the very best in wrestling today. As of late, I've been having a problem with a man I know as Wippleman, but apparently you people here in Memphis know as Downtown Bruno. My goodness, that has to be the stupidest name that I've ever heard. Who could walk around the streets of Memphis and call himself Downtown? Give the man a road map, he wouldn't know downtown from uptown. That's how dumb he is. I've had some problems over the past few months with him concerning things that he has put the blame on me for. Don't buy it for a second, folks. I'm the one that's in the right. I've been in the World Wrestling Federation doing ring announcing for a long, long time, and never have I ever faced a more stupider, idiotic excuse for a human being like Downtown Bruno. What a name. Well, nevertheless, it is going to all come to a head this Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. Finally, the opportunity is going to be there for your so-called hero to become even more of a hero when he steps into the ring and goes one-on-one with me. And this is going to be something that I perhaps shouldn't be looking forward to if you want to believe Downtown Bruno. I don't believe that idiot for a second. I know that I'm going to have to come down from the Big Apple and fly down to Memphis, Tennessee this Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum and step into the ring with Downtown Bruno. Give me a break.
Let me tell you something, Dave Brown. Look here. First of all, Howard Finkel, I'm proud to be a redneck. But see one thing, a redneck is a man. You're not a redneck. You are white trash. And when I get you in that ring in Memphis, Tennessee, everybody from Memphis, everybody from the Mid-South area, everybody from Wiles, Mississippi is going to come down and see this redneck show you, Yankee white trash, what you are, a piece of garbage. And I got one more thing to say, Dave. You might think you're bad. You will be bad when Downtown Bruno gets through with you. That means beaten, annihilated, and destroyed. And you know why? Because it's like Mama says. It bees that way sometimes. Oh, yeah.
Pythons, baby.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to get a hold of you right here. I may not have pythons, but I got me a couple earthworms here. They're going to wring the life out of your Yankee neck, Daddy. Believe me, I'll be there.
Just like somebody said, Howard Finkel, the last guy that came down here and talked like that was Andy Kaufman, and you know what happened to him, is that right?
He's that way, maybe. That's BrunoMania running wild here.